Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm glad you're here. I just wanted to have a shorter podcast today to talk about a few changes we'll be having. My main podcast will be at 6 p.m. Central Time tonight. My guests are from Australia, so I changed my time so I could fit them in daytime of theirs. And so, anyway, I hope you can come to that. But for just a few minutes this morning, I wanted to visit about a little bit of changes that will be coming. And the first one is that starting tomorrow, and hello, glad you're here. Um, so I'll be starting tomorrow evening. It'll be at 6 p.m. my time, Central Time. And it'll be good on a replay too if that's not a good time of day for you. But I'm just going to be doing a short, like a mini tuning, say like I did last week, just tuning into the energy of whoever will be listening to it at whatever time, and just tuning, clearing what can be cleared, tuning us with coherent positive energy and raising our voltage so that we can get through the week and get through life better. And I just wanted to do that for all of us, for me as well as for you. And so I hope each of you will enjoy that. So that'll be weekly on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central Time. And then, let's see, there will be several months ago, I think maybe last summer and last fall, I was doing a series of reading through the chapters of my book, and so you could hear it if you hadn't bought it, or just hear me read it. A lot of people enjoy listening as the author reads to get the inflections that they feel as they read in it. And so I started doing that and I didn't finish because I got busy with other stuff. So I'm going to pick back up where I left off. I'm not sure. I'll have to check on YouTube down in the past videos and see what chapter I left off on. And I'll be doing those live also instead of recorded like I did before. I would record them and then edit them in case I messed up when I was reading. But I'm just going to read live so that you can, again, see the perhaps inflections or things with that. And you can also ask questions during that time, just like during the weekly tuning. You're welcome to ask questions afterwards. And so those two things. Another thing that will be happening will be about my book also. There are a number of ideas or concepts that I wrote into my experiences, or things, these ideas or concepts that I experienced as in my awakening and inner healing journey. And they they're just kind of briefly written into my story because that's how I wrote the book of my story. And so in some of these times, I will be picking an idea or concept that I was part of the book, but not really explained or written about as much as could be because I just was telling my story. And so I will pick up those ideas or concepts at times and we will discuss them or talk about how I see it. And then you can ask questions or whatever about your ideas of it because I'd love to hear what you guys are all thinking. And so, those two things, the reading the book and the well, I think the reading of the book might happen at other times. I'm not sure. But the reading of the book and the series of deeper explanations, of deeper thoughts of the books may be occurring at another time. Otherwise, they'll be occurring like at times when I was not able to line up a guest for my 10 o'clock slot. And so that's what will be happening there. And then there was one thing I wanted to visit about. I don't have all the details about it yet. I But many of you were probably aware of the confluence that occurred in Texas in May. Confluence is a gathering of like-minded people, and that's what happened in Texas. It's been happening for a number of years now, and they have guest speakers. Eileen McCusick for biofield tuning was one of the speakers this year, and so anyway, they were encouraged. I had friends that went to the confluence there in Texas, and they were encouraged there to carry that idea to their own home spaces and create a gathering of more on a more local scale of people of like-minded that we can get together and visit. And so one of my friends that lives in the Kansas City area, she is organizing a confluence KC is what she's calling it. It'll be held in a park in Lenexa, where there's a large building there. And she asked me to be one of the guest speakers. So I'll be speaking a little bit about the biofield and energy clearing, perhaps a little bit about my work with ancestors, and then I'll be doing tuning of the crowd there. And so I hope some of you that are local can tune into that, and maybe it'll be recorded and we can share some of it too. So that's coming July 26th. It's the last Saturday of July in Kansas City. And I'll post and talk more about that as it comes, and in case anyone was interested. And then let's see, the last thing I wanted to visit with about today was, as I've spoken about before, I've um, I'm in training to be a feng shui consultant. Not so much because I'm super interested in how to make your house look better, or how, um, just to have a really nice house type of thing, but because it's energy clearing. It's one of the four ways of ancient Chinese that were for inner healing, or and your spirit work. Acupuncture was one, and feng shui was one, and I don't remember what the other two are. So I'm still in training. So you got to cut me some slack for not remembering them all. And so anyway, when I heard that about feng shui, which I had no idea that it was an energy healing modality, and so that's why I signed up to be the feng shui consultant and tie that in with our inner healing and our energy work. And so I've been learning a lot as the changes I make in my own home. That's how I'm learning. There's recorded sessions and lessons, and then we do the work on our own homes to learn. And every time I do a change in my own home, I feel it in my body, and I can feel the energy shift throughout the house. And it was really awesome yesterday. We've lived in this house for 5.5 years now, and it was a house in very, very much needed repairs. It's was built in 1900, 1900, according to the county records, and it shows it in many ways. There was much work. It was neglected at times for years during its history at times. And anyway, but this is where we landed because the universe wanted me to learn about ley lines, because the ley line ran through here, and we love it here. So the house has taken a lot of work, and one of the problems that had occurred in the history of the house was that at one point there was a leak, and either on the roof or in plumbing, from the upstairs bathroom. And it ran down in the center of the house, probably along the chimney that runs through the center of the house. And it must have stayed wet there a long time, or was a lot of water. And the house sunk in the middle. And so, like, the floors kind of go at a slant down to the middle. There's in some places it's a couple inches or more slant in from the outer edge to the inner edge. And so when this happened, our front door started not working at some point in history. So when we got here, the door was sealed shut. It wouldn't open. It was um, stuffed in the space as much as they could stuff it in to fit. And then blown in insulation was of that hard kind that expands and stuff, was blown in around the cracks to seal it. And so there was so much needed to do in our old house here that it was overwhelming. We didn't do very much at all because we couldn't fix that problem of all the floors settling. Weren't able to do that. The crawl space is only about this tall, and so it it's really a difficult situation. So anyway, we got overwhelmed and didn't do much of anything. I did a couple rooms in the house, and then that was about it. And so anyway, yesterday we got the front door open as part of step 3 in the feng shui I'm doing, which is 9 steps of feng shui by Moni Castaneda. And if you wanted to know about that, she was my guest in 2 podcasts. I think one in January and one in March, if you wanted to know more about that. But anyway, so we got the door open yesterday. It was part of step 3 in opening chi, being sure that chi can come into your home. And your front door represents the inflow of opportunities and money and good, abundance in your life. And so anyway, I look forward to the wonderful things that the universe will now be able to bring because our front door is open. Our house symbolizes us and our relationship with the universe. And so by blocking off the front door and not opening it, we were kind of blocking ourselves off from the world in energy wise and also in opportunity wise. And now it's open. And of course, it's going to take some work because it didn't just get open and now it can close, because now it doesn't close unless you just push it all in together like they had done before. So my husband is working on getting the door to fit, and I'm working on other feng shui projects in the house. And so I'm just really excited we got our front door open. And what I wanted to share was the energy. So my husband was working on the outside of the house. It took a bottle jack and a 4x4 to push up on the top of the door jamb right above the door, where he could reach it or could get the post in as close as he could, and then jack up the 4x4, trying to jack the door jamb up enough we could get the door open. And so at various times in his jacking it up, then I would pull and it wouldn't go, and or I would pull and it wouldn't go, and finally we got it open. And so I cleaned up the edges of all that blown in insulation and other junk around it. And so he'll be taking the door off the hinges and trying to work on the door and work on the door jamb so that it opens smoothly and easily. So, but after I got pulled the door open, then I stepped back into my house to feel the energy change. And I'm going to get emotional because the energy was just really, really super emotional. And it wasn't me, it was the energy in the house, because at various times since I started feng shui, just like I can sense and talk to the ancestors and stuff, I found that I can talk to my house, talk to its energy, and it responds. And we have conversations. And so it was this energy of the house as well as the energy of the chi flowing in that I could feel. And there was much love and joy and gratitude. And it was just really beautiful. It was also the chi in the chi. Then there was this curiosity of, well, where can we flow? And so I took my hands, and it was kind of at a loss because for a slight bit in finding the new flow throughout the house. And so I just used my hands and worked the energy like I do in the biofield at times. And so the chi started flowing, and then the energy both from the house and from chi, it was like, oh, what will we be able to bring in? What opportunities, what advantages, what abundance or money are we going to be able to bring in here. And it was like it was asking me, okay, we're going to be tapping into what you want now. So be clear on your intentions, and we'll be bringing for your highest spiritual good for you. And it was just beautiful. And um, so this morning I was also tuning the door and tuning the rooms of the house to help adjust to the new flow, like I often do in the biofields. It just takes time to adjust when there's changes in your flow. Excuse me. And so I wanted to share that because it was really a beautiful thing to me. And so, again, I'll just repeat, starting tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Central Time, I'll be doing a mini tuning. It will be live, and it will be every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central Time. And I hope that works for some of you. And if it doesn't work for you live, then please feel free to listen to the replay. And that's just to keep us all more positive and have higher voltage as we go through each week. And then the other thing, if anyone can join me tonight at 6 p.m. Central Time, my guest will be from Australia, and we'll be talking about the heart and brain connection and the harmony that can be built between the two to help us in our lives. And we'll be talking about their program because they work with the heart brain. They've been certified instructors of the Heart Math program. And so, anyway, thank you very much for listening in today. And I appreciate y'all being here. Have a great week. Hope to see you tonight or tomorrow. Bye bye now.